Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Not Just Numbers, the SBNG Experience. I'm Yesenia, the Firm Culture and Branding Associate. So let's get started. Today I am joined by Vanessa Hernandez. She is one of our tax supervisors. Very excited to have you on today.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here and a little nervous, if I'm being honest.
Okay, it'll be good. So today we're actually going to be talking about how taxes aren't just for April and kind of trying to debunk that myth that tax professionals are not busy from April to December.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
My
lot more
gosh.
to do. So let's get started. So I guess just to clear up, I guess people's ideas of it, can you describe what the first week after the big April 15 deadline looks like?
So it actually feels like there's like this big slump just because it's tax season. We're like in the groove. Everybody knows that it's, deadline driven. There's all this motivation and then it's over and it's kind of like, bloom. Um, it's a lot of, okay, what did we push off? Let's get back on track to what did we kind of say this isn't as urgent because of the deadline and kind of reprioritize or reassess our priorities to then actually start kind of going back to some of those clients, scheduling meetings, things like that that we don't like to do during the busy months.
Right.
A lot of like catch up, I would say, at least for the first few days.
That makes sense. So a lot of people just assume that once April 15th happens, you have nothing to do. Is that true?
Oh my gosh, the amount of times people have asked me, what do I do from April to December is crazy. I guess it's like this big, idea for people that, tax season ends April 15th and then that's it. Like,
You're
I don't
just
have a
out of
job
work.
after that.
It's a temporary position.
I go work somewhere else, for the rest of the year.
Can you explain what extensions are and why so many clients file them?
So, an extension is an automatic 6-month extension that the IRS pretty much like grants as long as you ask for it. And a lot of our clients ask for this extension just because information isn't ready yet. And that can be, maybe it was a big year, there was a lot of moving parts, and their books aren't like done, or not all their information is ready for us to prepare the tax return. So it's actually very common. Like I would say more than like 60-70% of our clients request extensions. And it's a lot of clients too that have businesses. So a lot of the times the businesses are the ones with the moving parts and everything's a little bit more crazy. So then we have to wait for the business to be done to then flow into the personal return. So that kind of says, okay, well, we're not going to finish the business, then we're not going to be able to finish the personal. So let's start with those extensions kind of earlier.
So that's good that you say that, the 60 to 70%, because I was going to ask if you can give me like a ballpark of how many clients
Clients.
ask for extensions.
Yeah. We have, a big pool of our clients, I would say, are, the more complex, involved business clients, things like that. And then we still do have, our normal individual clients that don't have so many moving parts. So we can get those out of the way kind of earlier on, and there's no need for extensions.
Okay. So what kind of returns are still in progress after April?
After April, I would say it's a lot of the business returns. And with business returns, I mean the flow throughs, so partnerships or as corporations that are still kind of outstanding to then flow into the personal tax returns.
Okay.
So those are the ones kind of we're trying to get out because we need those first before we can move on to the individuals. So there is a lot of individuals outstanding.
Okay. Alrighty. So when we say deadlines like September 15th, 15th, those deadlines, the one everyone knows about is April
April
15th.
15th.
So what are some other deadlines that are very important?
So there is actually March 15th. That is a big deadline too, for all the pass-through entities, S corps and partnerships. That's actually when those tax returns are due. And it's on purpose because they want you to get those done earlier. That way you then have a month to get that flowing into your personal return, right? But then you think about year end is in December. And then in January, they have all their W-2s, 1099s, things like that come due. So then they're focused on that. And then after that, they only really have a month and a half to close up all the books, get us everything that we need. That really isn't a lot of time for a lot of our clients. And that's why we then go into the extensions. And then even after April 15th, we have a big deadline in May. May 15th is when we have all of our Texas franchises due, right? Being in El Paso, almost all of our companies are based here, right? Or they have our clients have small businesses here. So then we have to submit their franchises
Okay.
by then. And same thing, if we can't get them done by May, there's also a 6-month extension. So then that pushes us to then have a deadline come November.
Right.
So then we say, okay, there's a deadline in March and April and May, and then, October, September, October, November, and then
Yes.
before I know it, my whole year is full of deadlines.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not true. Tax accountants, well, accounting firms are not just busy January to April.
Mm-mm.
They have something to do from April to December.
December, yes. Big misconception.
So, how do you and your team prepare for different deadlines? Is there a different way to prepare for each season of the year? Or
Not really. It's kind of the same from month to month. We really start looking at, hey, it's the beginning of the month. What is due at the end of this month? And then most of the deadlines are mid-month, like the 15th of April, the 15th of March. So then we start to look at what's due pretty much a month and a half before. So second
okay,
week of February, we're looking into what's due in March already. And then we start to plan out, okay, what's going to come due? What type of work do we need? Is it going to be intern heavy work or staff heavy work? So then we kind of know how to plan out who's really going to help us and where we need to, I guess, put the work up for.
okay, that makes sense. So it's kind of just like a cycle.
Yeah.
It keeps going, never
Mhm.
ending.
Never ending.
So, what does your day to day look like now that it's not April?
So there's actually a lot more client meetings, client emails, phone calls, more calls to the IRS. The IRS has like this huge like wait time for phone calls. I'm sure everybody knows. And it's actually very busy leading up to the deadline. So we try to push those things off for after.
Okay.
And then naturally, right after April 15th, all the clients that we do file is right when they start to get notices. So then a lot more of that comes up. So we have to deal with a lot more tax notices. And really not just from the IRS, there's a couple of state notices as well, New Mexico or Texas. So then we have more like phone calls, a little more analyzing, I guess I would say, instead of just like the normal prep that we're used to from like January through April.
Okay. Good. Alrighty. So, what's your favorite part of the job outside of busy season?
I would say that it's like helping people during the mentorship, especially, right? Because I get a little bit more like one-on-one time to
Right.
see like what they're like. But during busy season, it's a lot of like, I'm going to explain this to you, and this is how you're going to do it. And that's it,
I don't have
like,
time for questions.
yes, exactly. Like, I really just need you to get this done. Um, and then after busy season is when we have a little bit more time to be like, okay, like I'm going to pull a chair and then we're going to go through this together. Or like come into my office and we'll talk about it. I can explain to you a little bit more in detail.
Okay.
And I think that's the part that I like is being able to have that time to really go through that with someone as opposed to like, here it is. This is the answer. Like, just put it in there and let's move on. I need to get this return out. Like, it never ends. It's just like different as you kind of keep growing.
Of course. So, I feel like we've kind of made the point already that taxes are not just for April. Taxes are year round. I guess we already talked about, like the projects that come, the special projects that come other than tax prep and everything, and how tax really is a year round cycle. It's not just January.
I know. So then people know that I have a job the whole year.
She's not unemployed from April to December. So I feel like as a firm, we obviously feel busier January to April. Busy season for a reason.
Yes.
Work is a lot more heavy.
Yes.
So once we know busy season is over, we love to celebrate. So
Ooh.
let's talk a little bit about our April 15 parties. What's your favorite part about the parties?
I think it's just letting loose. Obviously at work, it's, you have this like professional relationship with everyone. You don't really have time to like, talk about all the random things that you do or what you like. And you kind of just see everybody like, so casual. And it's like we could talk about whatever. There's not this like professional wall up and, it's just like everyone is going to hang out. We're all like, casual attire too, but then, casual conversations and
Yes.
getting to know each other, drinks, things like that, where, it's kind of a time to like let loose and unwind.
Yes. So every April 15th, we have a celebration and it's in the books. Like we know for sure it's going to happen. This year we went to
Hope and Anchor.
Hope and Anchor.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We went to we went to Hope and Anchor, which is kind of like an indoor outdoor bar. We got food from Sabretooth, which was right next door, really good.
Yes.
So yeah, we had a magician.
Oh,
We
yeah. That was
were
really cool.
he
That was
was
super entertaining.
So we do our best just to laugh, let loose, like you said.
Um,
Drinks, food, conversation. We do raffles.
oh,
So,
yes.
can you share a wholesome or funny story, maybe from a firm event or a client interaction?
I think funny, maybe a little bit of wholesome too. With a client, kind of the first time that I met with them was like, you're gonna be the one who's helping me. And I'm like, yeah, it's me, I'm the accountant. They're like, how old are you? Did you already graduate? And
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, I just look young. I know I look young, but no, I'm already done with my master's degree and everything. It's like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to offend you. It's just, I feel like maybe people have this perception of an accountant being, like someone who's a little bit older and, maybe like dressed up real nice. There's this misconception, that everybody's going to be, it's an office, so everyone's going to be in suit and tie, pencil skirts, and,
yeah.
heels. And it's not what it's like. I feel like it's very different. And then us in general, I think SBNG is a very young firm.
Yes.
So then it was like, oh, there's all these kids who are helping me. Yeah, it's me. We're the kids.
Nice. We're the kids who know about the money.
Yeah, I promise I know what I'm doing.
No, yeah, we actually talk about that a lot, how our firm is very young. You see a lot of 20-year-olds, like
Yes,
in the 20 range.
I think so. I feel like that's probably where we're all at. And I mean, even our shareholders, I feel like, they're young 30s, early 30s. So then, and then even starting off, sometimes I forget, there's, interns and they're still in college. And then we're like, we're going to happy hour. And they're like, oh, I can't drink. And I'm
I
like,
was about to
whoa.
say that. Yeah, for our 415 party, I was like, okay, guys, we're going to a bar, 21 and up. And there was this one person who was 20. And I was like, I'm so sorry. We made all the plans. I didn't take this into consideration.
Consideration. I
But
know, but it's because even us, we forget like we're a young firm, but we just think everyone can just let loose after that.
no, but it's really good. It changes like the office vibe
I think so
a lot.
too. And then I think, it opens up the eyes for like clients to then see, okay, this is what it's like. This is the firm, it's not just, there's this one person who's helping me that's really young and
Exactly.
unexperienced. All of us, we're all very young. And I mean, we've had a few clients where we've worked together, the accounting services department or the audit department. And, it's like, okay, bring, who's going to be helping. And it's, we're all around the same age. So then they see, okay, this is just the norm
Right.
across the board.
Right. And it helps too. I mean, not to say anything negative about firms who tend to have older people. Um, but I feel like it helps to have a lot of fresh minds in the
Yeah,
office.
just because, I mean, over the past few years, everything has been evolving so fast. Technology has been growing so much that even for me, sometimes I feel a little behind. Like,
Yes.
man, everything is, and I just feel like, the younger generation really is good about adapting and then quickly changing. and hey, we can do this better, let's do that instead of this is time consuming, let's not spend our time there. So I do think it's really good to bring that kind of fresh set of eyes to then help keep going.
Right. I feel like it also helps a lot with the interns. Like, I feel like
Oh
sometimes it's very nerve-wracking to be like, oh, I'm starting an internship at this firm, and then you're expecting like everyone's gonna be like you said, all professional, all
uh-huh.
older, pencil skirts and suits, and they walk in and they see us like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's like, oh, our open environment, you kind of just, you can collaborate with everyone, open door policy, you can kind of come in and ask us questions whenever you want. So I feel like it is very like, whoa, what a shock.
it catches them off guard. One time we wanted to film a video, the dance for a donut.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, people would walk in, they're like, dance? And I'm like, yes, dance. Like, we're playing music, dance, enjoy, have a good time.
They're
Uh,
like, this is not what I do for work.
I know, they're like, this is my job. No, and it's cool because I was actually thinking, they love bagels here. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
why. Everyone loves
I'm a
bagels.
huge bagel person
Yeah.
too.
No, like bagels are good, but like I don't know why the firm loves
It's
bagels.
just Einstein, let's do it.
Yeah. So I was thinking like boogie for a bagel.
Ooh, that's so
I already know.
good.
So I don't know. You
This is why
guys,
she's a marketing girl here.
if you guys want to work at SBNG or at an accounting firm, not just because we work here, because we're like cool and stuff,
Yeah,
but
we're
SBNG is
fun.
pretty cool. So I guess just some bonus questions for maybe students or young professionals who are listening. What advice would you give someone new to tax who's nervous about their first busy season?
Um, I think the biggest thing is we've all been there. Like we all started the same way. And a lot of the times it's this is my first internship. Like I don't even know what I want to do, if it's tax or audit, and it's kind of like I'm just going to try it out. So I think just be open because you never know. Maybe you're going to love it, maybe you're going to hate it, and that's happened here too. And then, I think you just have to go through it to realize it.
Yes.
So then, if it's not for you, then that's okay, accounting has so many branches that you can just, there's another path to go down. So I think being open to that and having just a good attitude towards it is really what's going to get you through.
Yes, that's really good. I actually have a piece of advice for them too.
Oh, let's see from our marketing girly.
Yes, I've learned something about busy season. Don't take people's energy personal.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. I'd walk in, I'd be like, hey guys, like I need to film a video, and they're like, not right now. And I'm like, they're mad at me. No.
Me, every time you come in, can I say no?
I know.
It's hard to
No,
to
like
like be fun and do all these things
yes, when
when
you're
you're
so busy.
stressed. Uh-huh. Because I mean, whether we like it or not, or we want to, you naturally become stressed, then you
Yes.
feel that like pressure, and I don't have time to do that. I can't right now.
Yes. And not
And
just with videos, but a lot of people's energy changes during busy season. I feel like the office gets a little hostile. I
we're
know.
gonna fight
No,
and
and then you should see like the
offer
last,
yourself
we talked about this a few episodes ago, but the last Friday game we did was musical
musical chairs.
chairs.
Oh, I love that game.
Let me tell you, all of the negative energy and anger that they had built up
It was unleashed
was
in that game.
unleashed.
It was. People sat on each other, people
Yeah.
fell, chairs were rolling away. You know, this is the time where we're going to fight and then we're going to bring it all out here.
No, yeah, but for sure, the energy changes. Obviously, stress can change anybody. So don't be like, oh, they're so like mean, or
They don't want to help me.
everyone is struggling just like you are. And everybody handles stress different.
Yeah. And you know what? That was actually a big thing that we talked about for the mentorship too, of like, okay, figuring out what kind of is like your stress trigger and then, kind of how to handle it. So I
Right.
feel like it's something that, it's an ongoing thing that we do.
Yeah.
It's not just like for interns that start off, but just kind of starting off is like so much. So I feel like it kind of just makes the stress seem a lot more than what it is.
And don't think everyone's walking around like arms crossed, like not talking to anyone. You'll just notice like the small shift in energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really love your advice though. Just
Thank you.
stay open.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so what do you wish more people understood about tax professionals?
I think that it's more than just knowing, the rules or, the forms. Someone asked me like, "Hey, what's my standard deduction? I'm, head of household." And I'm like, "I don't know." That's not something that I'm gonna memorize, or that's not just what my job is about. Like, what's my tax rate? And I'm like, I
Let me
don't know.
Google it.
Yeah, like things like that where I'm like, I'm not going to know all those things off the top of my head. It's more like tax planning and tax consulting, right? There's all these other things that we can do, or areas where we can help you figure out how to save taxes. So it's not just, numbers, and I'm really good at math. And I'm like, I'm not actually. The computer's
Google
really
it.
good at math.
I
I
just
plug
know
it
how
all in
to
there.
use my
Yeah,
my number pad.
my 10 key, let me
There
tell
you
you.
go. No, I noticed that a lot. And
Uh-huh.
I made the same mistake. I went to Brandon one time and I was like, I have this tax question, help me. And he's like, yeah, let me check Chat GPT. And I was like,
You're like, what?
but you're the tax person.
What do you mean you're gonna ask? I'm asking you.
No, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And I always tell people like something that you can Google is not something that I'm gonna know because I can also Google it,
right.
you know?
I feel like tax professionals need that sign outside their office that says, don't come to me with questions unless you've Googled it first.
Yes, exactly. So it's hard. A lot of people think that, and I'm like, if you can Google it, then so can I when you ask me
Yeah, there's a lot more to tax
to
proof.
tax. Yes.
So is there a fun tax fact or misconception that you love clearing up?
Yes. The difference between deductions and credits, because then people think like, oh, I did this and it's gonna save me, you know, I bought this for $100 and it's gonna save me $100 in taxes. And I'm like, no, because that's a deduction, not a credit. Deduction is gonna lower your taxable income, and the credit is dollar for dollar on the tax. So I'm like, there's a difference, and you have to know because then you think, I'm gonna spend this much money and I'm gonna save it all in taxes. And I'm like, no, it's not dollar for dollar.
I don't know. We had that episode kind of explaining deductions, but I feel like we need to go more in depth about it because
Yeah,
there is a lot of confusion.
there is.
So now you know deduction is a deduction, credit
Credit
is
is
a
a
credit.
credit.
All
Clear as
right.
mud.
One of our last questions. Any final thoughts or advice for someone considering tax as a career, um, unsure about what happens the other 9 months of the year?
Yes, I can tell them that, there's this specialty in like consulting and tax planning, right? That you can focus on, where the rest of the 9 months, or even during busy season, we do a little bit of our clients, everybody, right, wants to save on taxes. It's, how can I save on taxes? What can I do to make my business better? I want to focus maybe on reinvestment instead of paying taxes. What can I do? And I feel like that's never going to go away. And it's not something that, you can Google or that ChatGPT can tell you. It's very specific to the company, the person, maybe even the industry. And I feel like it's a big area that's only going to keep growing. Um, so if you really focus on that, you can then help your clients, you kind of become indispensable almost, right? It's not something that AI is going to take over, which is kind of a big thing too, of like AI is, kind of exploding out there in the world right now. And yeah, it can take over stuff like data entry and figuring out what taxes. But then when you get into the planning aspect and what can I do, that that isn't something that I feel like AI is quite there for. And I feel like that's where, as a tax professional, you can really step in.
That's really good. I actually lied. I have one more question for you. What is your favorite part about working here at SBNG?
My favorite part. Um, I think, for both sides, working with the shareholders, it's you get to kind of hear their, uh, I guess, what they've gone through. So then you kind of learn what to do and what not to do. And then, hey, I have this idea. what if we do this? And they're very open to that.
Yes.
And then they'll tell you, no, because I tried that and this is what happened. Or like, yeah, that's actually really good. Let's go for it. And then even if it goes wrong, we can kind of build on it.
Yeah.
So I really like that part. And then really just, kind of collaborating with coworkers. I feel like everybody here is very fun. So I also really enjoy that too.
I love that answer. You gave a different answer. That's new. Everyone always says the work-life balance.
Oh, okay.
But your answer was really good.
Which, I mean, work-life balance is really important. And we do a really good job here, but then, there's other things too.
Yes, and like you said, even when they say no, sometimes they even tell you like, if I say no and you feel like my answer should be yes, tell me why it should be yes.
Uh-huh.
I love that about the firm.
Sometimes it's like, I'm going to prepare and I have all this backup as to like why I want to do this. And if they say this, I'm going to say this. So I go like ready. And then they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no,
Oh,
like you were supposed to
no,
tell me
say
no.
no.
Yeah, like look at all these answers I have for you. So you're right. There's always that like, okay, if I say no, why do you think it should be yes? So like there's all this prep ready.
Yeah. Well, at least you come to it very educated on the subject.
Yes, I have to be ready,
Ready.
to go to battle.
You come with the facts.
Yes.
There you go. Alrighty. Well, this has been really fun, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you to everybody listening. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at SBNG CPA. If you want to check out our website, www.sbngcpa.com, you can find our contact information about our team, read up on our shareholders, managers, supervisors, and seniors. You can see who's here, what we do. Make sure you follow our podcast on whatever streaming service you use on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We have our episodes out on YouTube now. So, yes, just keep up to date. That way, you know when we have another episode coming out. And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.